Recommended for Category 2 status, what does that mean to you when you heard the news?
As a fan since the age of 6, Adam, it means an incredible amount. I have worked with the team now since December, January time, and there has been a huge amount of sacrifice. Staff have been working round the clock, putting in 60 plus hours consistently during that time. And so to get the result now, after making those sacrifices, it just means the absolute world. This football club is really on a firm foundation as a result of being awarded Category 2.
It's great news for the club. I'm delighted personally because there's been a lot of effort that's got to this stage, and it gives us the platform from which to really deliver on one of our 5 key pillars of producing players from the academy and through to the first team.
What would be the difference between you getting Category 2 and failing to get Category 2? How big a difference would it have been for the football club?
I think it would have been, massively disappointing to have not achieved it. Not just for this football club, but also importantly for this region. We want to make sure that we play our part in providing the platform for kids in the southwest to go on and achieve excellence. And ultimately, that will be to play in Bristol City's first team and, play for their country. So we've already had success in the Welsh and the Irish squads. Ultimately, what we want is to create the next England superstar. And so, this now will allow us the vehicle to be able to go on and achieve that.
How significant is the financial outlay the club has had to stump up?
It's very significant, but we've made that decision already, and that's part of our budgeting. And the point behind it is, if you do produce players to the first team and you produce young players who have a value attached to it, then it'll repay it, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for young players to play for Bristol City.
Certainly from what Steve Lansdown has said, Colin Sexton in the past, what have you made of the academy to date?
I've always felt that there's some good players coming through, but it's always been my feeling that once they reach the 18s and past that stage, there's a big gap between that and the first team. And the under-21 league that comes with Category 2, all the coaching to produce young players into adults is there for them not to drop off a cliff and to actually make the progression into the first team. And that's the key bit. You can do all you like to get the best 17, 18-year-old you can, but there's still a big jump into professional football, and this bridges that gap.
The culture shift at the academy has been massive. I don't think much has remained unchanged. I think we've changed all of the right things for all of the right reasons, and we've done that through bringing in the best staff. We've got the highest performing individuals, but importantly we've got a fantastically high performing team, and so we know what needs to be done, and we know who needs to do it, and we know why it needs to be done. And so the greatest, achievement for me is, achieving this categorisation so that the team actually get the recognition that they rightfully deserve.
Lots of praise for all the academy staff. They have been working really hard, especially over the last 3 or 4 months, but the months leading up to that as well. I've been along to a few of the coaches' meetings and everything else, and they've really put a lot of time and effort into this, and this is testament to all of them, the coaches, scouts, the guys in the office, especially Amy for having this recommendation, and it's a testament to them. And now they've really got to get their teeth into producing some young players, and I know they're all looking forward to doing that.
This isn't just about where we are now, it's also importantly about where we're heading. We don't stop here. We all want and need this football club to be successful, and so achieving the categorisation gives us an endorsement that people realise that we are a well-run, well-governed academy that is really going to be producing future homegrown talent. But we can't rest on our laurels. We will have an action plan where we will have to undertake further enhancements, and ultimately we want to be a Category 1 academy, so it doesn't stop here. It genuinely doesn't stop, and we will continue to build until we are the best academy in the country. We call it internally Operation Relentless, and we are all committed to make sure that this football club is as successful as it possibly can be, and that we are continuing to compete at the highest level.
You always aspire for better. You always aspire for the next thing, and Category 1 requires a lot of facilities, but of course you aim high. We will get there. It's a question of when. So yes, it's the next step. The next step now is to produce players for the first team, and you're always aspiring to do better.
Perfect. Happy.